If it was that bad, why didn't you just leave? That is something that I have heard more times than I can count, and it's infuriating because most people, especially people who have never been in an abusive or toxic relationship or dynamic, doesn't understand that it's not that easy. In most abusive relationships, whether it be familial, intimate, friendship, even coworker situations, because let's just face it, abusive dynamics can happen in any area of life. There's a cycle, and usually the cycle is everything's great, called love bombing or the honeymoon phase, and then there's a rupture. There is an outburst, there's retaliation, there's a violent outburst, there's verbal belittling, whatever the case may be. And then after the rupture comes the repair, which is the second phase of the love bombing, making everything right. I'm so sorry I hit you, it will never happen again. I'm sorry that I said those awful things to you. You know, if you didn't do XYZ, I wouldn't have done that. You know, I love you, it will never happen again. And then after that honeymoon period comes another rupture. And that's how the cycle continues. Honeymoon period or love bombing, whichever term you want to use, a rupture, repair, honeymoon phase, rupture, repair, honeymoon phase, over and over and over again. And what happens during that is your brain is releasing chemicals. When you're in the love bombing repair stage, you have the dopamine, the oxytocin, the bonding hormone. You feel like, you know what, maybe they mean it this time. You know, they really are a good person. Like they're saying they're sorry and they love me. It's going to be okay. And then the rupture happens. And then you have your cortisol, your adrenaline, all your other stress hormones getting released. Your nervous system is activated and you're going into fight or flight or fawn and freeze, whichever direction your nervous system ultimately ends up going, depend on the level of threat. And it keeps going around and around and around, and you become trauma bonded. You basically get wrapped up in this chemical cocktail that's happening in your brain. And that's why leaving is so hard. Because oftentimes, just when you're about to leave, that's when your abuser all of a sudden becomes the person you fell in love with. All of a sudden, they do everything right. They're not screaming at you, they're not yelling at you, they're not insulting you, they're not being controlling with your money or where you go or who you spend time with. And then just when you think that everything's okay, they revert right back to the abusive behaviors, whether that be emotional, psychological, financial, sexual, physical, whatever the case may be. So if somebody has ever said to you, if it was that bad, why didn't you just leave? Remember that you've done